Thanksgiving, the most underrated holiday of them all. It may not have the same it factor as Christmas and Halloween, with no decorations, no costumes, no presents, but it doesn't need any of that bullshit. It's still a wonderful time. I mean, come on. We're talking about the 3 F's here: food, family, and football. What's better than that? But in a way, it kind of sneaks up on you. There's nothing really getting you into that Thanksgiving spirit beforehand. Unless you're cooking up some sort of dish or preparing your house, I guess. Which I kind of like, because no build-up means no expectations going into it. Case in point, off the dome right now, name me 3 Thanksgiving-related movies. Because that's all I got. Number 1, Freebird, which is a dog shit animated kids movie about turkeys going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu.
That's right!
It's as dumb as it sounds. Number 2, Thanksgiving the horror movie, which I haven't seen yet. And number 3, A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, which I guess really isn't a movie because it's only 25 minutes. But also, it's the only Thanksgiving media that I revisit every year. Ignoring the fact that Charlie Brown is probably the most miserable fictional child ever created, struggling with crippling anxiety, depression, self-doubt, and constant bullying from his peers, stressed to the point that he's begun balding at 8 years old, the holiday specials featuring him as the main character are about as heartfelt and spirited as they come. Even the Thanksgiving one, which is definitely my least favorite of the 3. It's not bad. It still has the 2 elements that make the Christmas and Halloween one so good. That being the music and the vibe. Shout out Vince Goulardi. But for a 25-minute short, it drags. The new voice actors aren't as good. And even though it came out 7 years after the first 2, it has definitely aged the worst. Substance-wise, that is. I'm referring to the highly suspect scenes involving Franklin, the only non-white Peanuts character, who's making his TV debut in this one. We'll get to it when we get to it. But without wasting too much more of your time, let's jump into it. It begins just like the Halloween one, with Lucy, one of the top 5 most evil characters in fiction, convincing Charlie Brown for the 1,000,000th time to kick the football that she's place-holding, only for her to pull it away at the last second, so he flies up 20 feet in the air, lands back down on his head, worsening his CTE, and adding more strain to his fragile, deteriorating 8-year-old mind.
Isn't it peculiar, Charlie Brown, how some traditions just slowly fade away?
I obviously have never read any of the Peanut comic strips, because I'm not 80 years old. But from what I've seen of her in these 3 shorts, she's pure evil. Her whole purpose in this world seems to be to make Charlie's life miserable. And I relate. You see, at that age, I had a Lucy of my own, who unfortunately, I also had a big crush on. I remember one specific run-in with her in the 3rd grade that occurred over Thanksgiving break. I was going to a friend's house and she was also gonna be there. And going into it, I was actually kind of excited, thinking maybe if she got to know me better, she'd like me. But no. Instead, the bitch manipulated my friend, who also liked her, to end my life execution style. They lined me up in his yard. My friend used a Nerf gun to hold me in place. I can't believe you did this to me, Jake. While she, the devil, stood across the yard with one of those Nerf rocket launch pads, you know? You know, where you jump on the pad and it launches the rocket, attempting to blow me away. I had never seen one of these in action, so I assumed these things came at you at 1,000 miles an hour. I thought my life was over. But fortunately for me, she wasn't very accurate. Dumb bitch. And after a few reloads, she gave up. But I wasn't off the hook yet. She warned me that if she ever saw me outside of school again, that she'd, quote, kill me with her own 2 hands. The rest of the playdate was pretty awkward after this. 3rd grade was a hard time, man. And up until middle school, she was awful to me every chance she got. And yet I still had a crush on her. Even to this day, I seem to gravitate towards mean, bossy women. Thanks a lot, Olivia. Sorry about that. I kind of went on a tangent there. Tried to relate it to Charlie Brown, whatever. Back to the Charlie Brown. We get the intro card with Snoopy and Woodchuck strutting across the screen with a little tune by the GOAT himself, Vince Goulardi. I'm gonna get it. Who, of course, they had to bring back for this one. These specials wouldn't be shit without his piano fingering. Our boy Chuck goes and checks the mailbox, only to find nothing, which depresses him, of course. His little sister Sally makes a good point though. What do you expect, to find a goddamn turkey card? Then they walk down the block while she vents about having to write about the Mayflower colonizer, Stanley Myles.
You mean Myles Standish?
I mean Myles Standish, who is known for an event called the Massacre at the West Gazette, which is when he invited a bunch of Native American leaders into his fort for a peace summit after hearing from another chief that these tribes were planning to attack his fort. So once all the Native American leaders arrived to this peace summit, he had his soldiers close the gate, trapping them. Then the colonists obviously proceeded to murder every last one of them. They even mounted one of the leaders' heads outside their fort as a warning. But I will say the background and vibe of this scene is perfect. Look at the trees, the sky, the leaves. It's perfect. It's so Thanksgiving-y. It almost makes you forget about good old Myles Standish. Almost. They run into Linus, who Chuck tells about their Thanksgiving plans of going to Granny's. It then cuts to Charles back at home watching TV, just chilling, you know, until he gets a call from Peppermint Patty, who invites Marcy, Franklin, and herself to his place for Thanksgiving. She doesn't even give him a chance to object.
This will be okay with your folks, won't it, Chuck?
Well, the problem is...
Don't worry, we won't make any problems.
So now they're pulling up, even though he and the fam are gonna be at Granny's, which has got our boy Chuck stressing. Look at his face. This poor kid is 8 years old and already carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Luckily, he's got Linus there, who's got the brilliant idea of 2 dinners. Friendsgiving with Peppermint Patty that they'll cook. Then they'll pull up to Granny's later. Bada bing, bada boom. They send Snoopy to set up the table outside. He wakes Woodstock's sleepy ass up and they get to work. When I said this special drags, this is the specific scene I'm talking about. It's fine, I guess. It's mostly just Snoopy and Woodstock trying to set stuff up and then getting horrifically disfigured. Temporarily, of course, because they're cartoons. At one point, one of the chairs becomes sentient and beats Snoopy's ass. And while fighting back, he accidentally breaks it. The scene is only 3 minutes, but that stupid little Birdy song makes it feel so fucking long. I know I was just hyping up Big Vince, okay? No misses, except for this goddamn song. Little birdie, you make me wanna blow my brains out. Might be a hot take, but this one ain't it. Luckily, Vince gets back to cooking on the piano while the gang makes Thanksgiving dinner. It's just popcorn, jelly beans, pretzels, and toast that Snoopy and Woodstock help butter. But this scene is awesome, okay? It's spot on. If an 8-year-old hosted Thanksgiving, it would look something like this. I personally probably would have thrown in some goldfish as well, but that's just me. Where they got the 10 toasters from, I got no clue. Then Snoopy and Woodstock take another 2 whole minutes to dress up as pilgrims. Snoop's even on his Myles Standish timing with the strap. Franklin better watch out. Speaking of, we're now 15 minutes in. We're over halfway through this thing, and there hasn't really been anything too egregious just yet. But now his guests have arrived. Charlie greets everyone and lets them in, then proceeds to dap up the black kid, and only the black kid. I guess I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe Charles isn't about dapping the hoes, but Peppermint Patty is basically one of the homies. Don't you think she'd have a pretty crisp dap, huh? I'll give you a pass here, Chuck, because that shit was clean. But I'm watching you extra close now here, buddy. He takes him out back with the table nice and set up. Snoop even shaped the napkins. What a fancy looking excursion. Chuck helps Patty into her seat. I see ya, I see ya. Franklin hops into his chair, which of course is the evil sentient one that just beat Snoopy's ass. Oh yeah, and it's broken. Oh, look at the black kid. Oh, he chose the wrong chair. Is that the joke? Really, Schulz? And look where he's seated. On the other side of the table, a whole chair away from Linus. You know, just a little casual segregation. Okay, let me chill for a minute. A little background, Schulz actually does deserve some credit. He was actually a pioneer at the time. In 1968, he first introduced Franklin to the world of the Peanuts, making it the first nationwide comic strip to ever racially integrate. That's awesome and historic. Shout out Harriet Glickman, the teacher, for writing to him, encouraging him to do so, and also Schulz for actually having the balls to do it. I remind you, it was 1968. The Civil Rights Act ended segregation only 4 years prior. There was no TikTok, no Severance, nothing was on TV. Everyone read the goddamn newspaper. So you know he was receiving some wild ass letters from racists all over the country wanting their all white peanuts back. But at the same time, with Franklin, he stopped at the tip. He was afraid to go balls deep. Crazy word combo. I apologize. But really, he was afraid to make Franklin anything more than a respectable black kid. He's not a real character. Unlike every other Peanuts character, right? Charlie Brown. He's all sorts of fucked up in the head and he has alopecia. Linus is a crazy conspiracy theorist and he's attached to his blanket. Lucy is a loudmouthed bitch. Pigpen is nasty and has probably contracted every hepatitis known to man. And Peppermint Patty is overly direct and won't shut up. I can go on. All while Franklin is just wallpaper. He's got character traits, sure. He's a great athlete. He's smart. He's supportive. He's always able to lend a helping hand. He never does or says anything others might disagree with. He's just happy to be there. I guess it's better than making him mentally retarded or a stereotype. But still, even Charles's quote about him on peanuts.com is lame as hell. In contrast with the other characters, Franklin has the fewest anxieties and obsessions. Bruh. He's too perfect, which makes him boring. He's kind of just there. And the way Schulz used him here is the same. He doesn't affect anything. It seems Schulz did the corporate money bag thing, hoping to satisfy as many people as possible. Inserting Franklin hoping to please the black audiences, but also used him in a way that wouldn't make bigoted racists uncomfortable. Hence him saying basically nothing, the segregation, and giving him the shittiest chair. Pandering. It's always been a thing. Obviously, I don't know what he was actually thinking, but I do know that this shot is crazy. Before everyone eats, Linus educates everyone on the first Thanksgiving, bringing up Myles Standish again and also the great Chief Massasoit, who was the asshole that snitched on the other tribes, ultimately leading to the massacre at the Wessagoset. But whatever. Let's ignore the previous complaints, okay? Because once again, the vibe out here is immaculate. They got the table outdoors surrounded by the leafless trees, the dead leaves on the ground. They got the sky. The sky is just so November-y, so Thanksgiving-y. And of course, the music. It's all perfect, man. Then the food is served. Snoopy deals the toast like it's around a Texas Hold'em. Franklin gets his plate barely able to see over the table. Too scared to switch seats and sit in one of the despawning chairs. And when PP gets her meal, she's pissed. Going on a tirade about turkey and mashed potatoes and cranberry sauce and how this isn't a real Thanksgiving meal. Absolutely destroying poor Chuck's soul. You just showed up. You should be happy you even got toast. Was she really expecting an 8-year-old to cook a whole Thanksgiving meal in 2 hours? Thankfully, Marcy, her goated assistant, humbles her ass.
Now wait a minute, sir. Did he invite you here to dinner? Or did you invite yourself and us too?
Boom, bitch! Bang!
Now more level-headed, she does some elementary school shit, sending Marcy to go apologize for her, which she does. She also tries cheering up Chuckles, spitting some absolute bars about how Thanksgiving isn't about the food, but about being thankful and being with the people that you love.
I think that's what they mean by Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown.
Very wholesome. Marcy's the GOAT for real. Then Peppermint Patty, aka
Priscilla.
swoops in to steal the credit for Marcy's apology. Then she has the gall to try rizzing him up.
You're holding my hand, Chuck. You sly dog.
Chuck notices that it's now 4, meaning they should be at Granny's. He calls her to explain their predicament, so Granny invites them all over to her place for a real dinner. Hell yeah. They all hop into the back of the hatchback, which has no seat belts. The good old 1970s, am I right? It does look pretty fun back there though. They sing over the river into the woods, to grandmother's house we go. But there's one problem with that.
My grandmother lives in a condominium.
Then it ends with Snoopy and Woodstock eating a turkey of their own. Very sweet, even though Woodstock is a bird. Nothing like some good wholesome cannibalism. Hey, but look at that sky though. That pink sky, it's beautiful. It's just so peaceful looking. It almost makes it okay that this little bird is eating and playing wishbones with the remains of one of his distant cousins. The end. And that's a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. As I said earlier, it's pretty solid outside of the Franklin stuff. Literally the only thing he did was say 3 sentences and get segregated. He had no impact on anything. Schulz must have been feeling some kind of way while writing this. And also the Myles Standish stuff. Not a good guy. I also don't think the plot of this one was as strong as the other 2, but it does have that perfect Thanksgiving vibe. The cooking of the toast in the kitchen was a really cute scene. Nice, simple message about being thankful for your loved ones. You know, I'm just a hater, okay? This was very solid. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. But yeah, that's the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, maybe consider hyping, maybe. Comment Free Franklin if you're still here. Anyhow, thank you all so much for watching. I love every single one of you guys. I hope you have a marvelous Thanksgiving, or had a marvelous Thanksgiving. And good night.
This is what I'm goddamn talking about. That Charlie Brown November 22nd sky. Like, it's 5 days away from actual Thanksgiving, but look at this shit. God damn. God damn, and it looks better in Charlie Brown somehow. But look at this shit. I'm bricked up.